Hello everyone. Today we are back with the theodolite surveying lecture again. Um, so what we are going to do, we are going to revise what we have learnt in the first class for a few minutes, and then we are going to continue today's topic. First of all, theodolite. As we know, theodolite is a most precise angle measuring instrument. Both it can with the help of theodolite you can measure both horizontal as well as vertical angles, and apart from this you have also other uses, like you can set the grade, you can prolong a straight line, uh, uh, you can level a ground, uh, like you can measure the level difference, and it can be used as a tachometer also. So like this we have a different uses, and least count is 20 seconds when you compare with the earlier instrument compass, which is only having a 30 minutes. It has a huge advantage. Uh, yes. So in the previous class, we have discussed about photographic view of theodolite from its side view as well as a front view. Hook-like arrangement. This kind of hook-like arrangement will be there at the bottom of the spindle, inner axis, and you can see the front view, something like this. And even you can observe these are the two kinds of leveling heads, in which so here each this type of hole, a larger diameter hole. So in this particular leveling head, it directly going to fix on a tripod, and here there will be something like a wing nut is provided on the tripod. So with the particular wing nut type, you can fix this leveling head or entire instrument onto the tripod. So these are the two types of tripods or instrument which we are going to use. And at the base of the theodolite, what happens, you can there will be option like you can move slightly. So this in this particular I'll show you. In this particular diagram we can see this there are some screw like arrangements. With the help of this, you can slightly move your theodolite entirely uh, within certain radius, so that exact bisection of center may be obtained after leveling with the help of this shifting center. This is actually called shifting center arrangement. It is actually coming in the latest instruments. So here actually there is no shifting center. In the earlier diagram we have shifting center also. This type, about this particular thing, there is no theory is there, but actually it is more useful to adjust a slightly instrument here and there. Okay. So in the earlier class we have discussed about essential parts or compulsory parts of a theodolite. So these are all essential parts: telescope, vertical circuit, index frame, standards. Standards is nothing but the A frame, and leveling head. Yeah, in leveling head we were actually discussing about four foot screws head as well as 3 foot screws head. We're going to discuss in detail now today. And lower plate, upper plate. Yes, in the lower plate we used to have scale, and upper plate verniers, and plate levels either 2 or 1 along with the altitude level, and tripod, plumb bob, compass. And these last two parts, uh, I can say optional, or these may not require every time. If it is there, then obviously useful. If not, also you can do the survey. Here this is a diagram showing a detailed arrangement of how lower clamp and tangent works. It's a tubular compass, and this is a striding level. Striding level is actually provided to check the accuracy of the horizontality of the true axis. Now today we'll continue with the basic some definition of terms which are going to used in a theodolite survey. What is a vertical axis? This I think this is also covered in the last class. Uh, yeah, in the last class we were saying, uh, maybe in this particular diagram, the center line which is passing through the solid internal cone, this is nothing but a vertical axis. This is common for both inner spindle as well as outer spindle, and it is a imaginary line about which actually both the spindles are rotating. That is nothing but a vertical axis. Okay, the vertical axis is an axis about which the instrument can be rotated in a horizontal plane, and this axis about which lower and both upper plates are, are rotate. I think we are clear with the vertical axis. We'll go to next horizontal axis. So these are all the basic terms. If you are familiarized with all these terms, then we can clearly understood what is a theodolite surveying. The next one is horizontal axis. So horizontal axis or Trunnion axis also called. Uh, I'll show you. Yes, a line something like this, which will be passing through the center of the telescope and all. Maybe I'll try in the next diagram. Yeah, so here a point which is going perpendicular to the screen from this dot, or this particular point, this dotted line is nothing but the Trunnion axis. Okay, dotted line from my left to right is nothing but the Trunnion axis. It is also called a horizontal axis, and so it is an axis about which telescope and complete vertical circle can be rotated in vertical plane. So about this particular line only the revolution or rotation takes place. Okay, then we have next point, next axis, a line of sight, and it is also called a line of collimation. And this is actually also we come across in leveling, dumpy leveling, leveling surveying also. Right, it is an imaginary line passing through the intersection of crosshairs, both horizontal as well as vertical, with the optical center of the objective glass and its continuation. This is nothing but a line of sight or line of collimation. Okay, and next we have axis of level tube. Right, any level tube, both it may be horizontal or altitude level tube. Axis of a level tube or bubble tube, commonly known as, is a straight line tangential to the longitudinal curve of a level tube at its center. The axis of level tube is horizontal when the bubble is exactly center. So what happens here, if you see this particular bubble tube, maybe something like this, the top of the bubble tube is curved in nature, something like this, and if you draw a tangent to this particular shape exactly at the center, this is nothing but imaginary line. Again, it is nothing but an axis of bubble tube. What happens if it is instrument is not in the center, bubble is not in the center, then what happens, it is slightly inclined. Okay, so then if you draw the tangent will also be inclined in nature. And when the instrument is perfect adjustment, then what happens, bubble will be exactly at the center, and therefore if you draw a tangent, this particular tangent to the glass tube on this particular bubble tube is exactly horizontal. Okay, so that is nothing but axis of bubble tube or level tube. It may be corresponding to plate level or it may be corresponding to altitude level, everything is same. Next, we have a term called centering. So, centering is a process of setting theodolite exactly over a station mark. Okay, so centering, how it can be achieved, we are going to discuss in detail in a topic called temporary adjustments of a theodolite. So, for now, centering is nothing but bringing, let us say this is a ground station, some marked with some X. There are three legs. There are three legs of tripod over which actual instrument is there, theodolite is there. Then, if a plumb bob is suspended, it must exactly come on this particular mark. If it is not, then what happens? We can move the legs. We have different ways. Like we can, let us say, at the initial position, plumb bob may not be exactly on the mark. It may be slightly at some side position of that particular mark. So what happens? we need to move the three legs by the same amount and same direction as a plumb bob rests on the ground. Okay, so that can also be one of the method, or you can also do like a radial movement and circumferential movement of legs. That means moving these three legs circularly or towards the center and away from the center, like radially and circumferentially. By doing also, you can set the instrument, or perform the centering of the instrument. But remember here, uh, after performing centering, what happens, this particular tripod head should approximately parallel to the ground. It should not be abnormally inclined to the surface. If it is so, what happens, uh, on the leveling head, with the help of 3 or 4 foot screws, you can only achieve certain amount of leveling accuracy. But if you, with the tripod, if you adjust these three legs such that there is a huge amount of slope on top of tripod, it cannot be rectified, it cannot be achieved with the help of a leveling head alone. So here, at the centering point, or at the centering level only, you need to approximately look at the approximate level of the tripod head also. Next, we have a term known as transiting. So in the classification of theodolites only, I have told you about transiting. Transiting is nothing but able to rotate that particular telescope on the vertical plane about 180 degrees. If it is able to rotate in one complete revolution, you can say that is a transit type of vernier theodolite. Otherwise, it is non-transit. Okay. So transiting is a process of turning telescope in vertical plane through 180 degrees about the true axis. Since the line of action reversed in this operation, it is also known as reversing or plunging. Okay, so plunging, reversing, and transiting are synonymous words, or every word means the same thing. You can say transiting, you can say plunging, or you can say reversing, everything is the same. Next, we have a term swinging the telescope. Okay, so swing is a new term. Swing is nothing but swinging of telescope is a process of turning the telescope in horizontal plane. If the telescope is rotated in clockwise direction, then it is called a right swing because it moves slightly rightwards. And if the telescope is rotated in counterclockwise or anti-clockwise direction, it is called as a left swing. Right, so usually we'll come across with a left swing and face left, right swing and face left. Okay, so swing, up to swing, we must have understood now. So next technical term is face left observation. So in using theodolite, we have different sets, face left observation and face right observation of theodolite. So here, face left observation means if the face of the vertical circle is to the left of the observer, the observation of the angle, horizontal or vertical, is known as the face left observation. Okay, so while taking the reading, let us say observer is there at the instrument and some object is bisected. Let us say a long ranging rod is bisected, and while taking the reading, if the vertical circle of that particular instrument is on the left side of that particular observer, it is called face left observation, or otherwise it is face right observation. Okay, face right observation, if the face of the vertical circle is to the right side of the observer while taking the reading, it is called face right observation. And here, one more thing, telescope normal. What do you mean by telescope normal, and what do you mean by telescope inverted? A telescope is said to be normal or direct. Telescope normal or telescope direct, both are same. A telescope is said to be normal or direct when the face of the vertical circle is on the left and the bubble of the telescope is up. Okay, so bubble of the telescope is up and vertical circle is left, then it is called telescope normal. And in this particular position only, you can see both of the studs which are provided on the telescope on upper side. And then we have a telescope inverted. So is said to be inverted or reversed when the vertical circle is on the right side and the bubble is down. Right, when the vertical circle is on the right side, it is called telescope inverted, and in this particular position you can see the studs are provided on the bottom of the telescope. Now, what do you mean by changing phase? Simple. Initially it was face left and you perform some operation and bring back to face right, then it's called face change, and vice versa also called phase change. So it is an operation of bringing phase of the instrument from left to right or vice versa. That is nothing but changing phase. So here changing phase is nothing but transiting. You can say if you transit a theodolite, automatically its phase changes from left to right. And of course you need to swing by 180 degrees also. Right. So these are the terms used in terms or definition used in theodolite surveying. And then we'll come to the next topic, temporary adjustments. Right. uh, in dumpy level also we used to have the same temporary adjustments. Now we have temporary adjustments almost the same. Okay, we are going to discuss or remind once again. Temporary adjustments, by the name suggests, it is a temporary or station adjustments. These are those which are made at every instrument setup and preparing to take observation with the instrument. The temporary adjustments are setting up over the station. Setting up over the station, it is also called centering, and leveling up. So here some of the instruments may have three-headed leveling head, 3-screwed leveling head, and some of the instrument may have 4-screwed leveling head. And the last one, elimination of parallax or focusing. Okay, so let us take the first one, setting up. So it is a process of setting up, includes centering of the instrument over station mark by a plumb or optical plummet, and sometimes a laser plummet even in latest advanced instrument like uh, electron theodolite and all. For now, with the manual theodolites we have only optical plummet or a plumber. Generally we'll go with the plumber. Okay. Approximate leveling with the help of tripod legs. This can be achieved in setting up only. The first one is centering and the second one is approximate leveling. Both these are to be achieved simultaneously in the setting up process only. Okay. Some of the instruments provided with shifting head I was showing in the yeah, I'll show you even now also. Come on with that one. Yes, 1 minute. Yeah, this kind of arrangement, shifting center, when you operate or when you lose this screw, the center may be slightly shifted from its initial position. That is called shifting center. Okay, where are we were at this. Okay, some of the instruments are provided with a shifting head with the help of which accurate centering can be done easily. Okay, so how centering is done? By moving leg radially, the plumb bob is shifted in the direction of the leg, while moving a leg circumferentially or sideways, considering the change in the inclination is affected without disturbing the plumb bob. Okay, so these are the primary things. When you move radially, plumb bob is shifted in direction, but when you move circumferentially or sideways, and the inclination is affected without disturbing the plumb bob. These are the points to be noted while performing the setting up. Okay. The second movement is therefore effective and in the approximate leveling of the instrument. Yeah, as I said, radial moving directly this plumb bob is going to disturb, and therefore the second circumferential moving is always preferable. Okay. Approximate leveling is done either with reference to a small circular bubble tube provided on the tri batch, or it is done by just rough eye judgment only. So you are going to perform centering. After that, if it is a bubble tube, circular bubble tube is provided on the tripod, you can check that bubble tube is centered, or otherwise also you can lie down a little and you can check the horizontality at the top of the leveling head, sorry, tripod head with the naked eye only. Then the second one is leveling up. So after having centered and approximately level the instrument, accurate leveling is done with the help of foot screws and with the reference to the plate levels. Okay, all foot screws always rotated along, with the help of those plate levels only. The purpose of leveling is to make the vertical axis truly vertical. This is to be remembered. Why we are leveling? We are making that vertical axis of the instrument exactly vertical, and with the aim only we are leveling. The manner of leveling instrument by plate levels depends upon the whether they are three leveling foot screws or four leveling foot screws. Let us say we'll take the first one, three screw head. I'll show you in this diagram. Yeah, this is a diagram showing three screws head. Okay, so right. So here, turn the upper plate. Turn the upper plate until longitudinal axis of the plate level is roughly parallel to the line joining any two foot screws. Let us say, such as A and B are the leveling screws. Yes, you need to turn the telescope such that one of the bubble tube, altitude bubble tube, is actually parallel to the line joining any two foot screws. Let us say in our case it is A, B, C. There are three foot screws, and in the first instance we are making bubble tube parallel to A, B. Okay. Hold these two leveling foot screws in between your thumb and first finger of each hand, and then turn them uniformly so that the thumb moves either either towards each other or away from the each other until bubble is central. Like, you need to hold that particular foot screw with the help of your first finger, index finger, and a thumb, both of these foot screws, and you operate both these simultaneously, either both inward or both outward, such that the bubble will be coming at the center. Okay, and it should be noted that the bubble will move in the direction of the movement of your left thumb. Okay, if the left thumb is moving towards right, then the bubble obviously move towards right, and if your left thumb moves towards left, bubble will always moves towards the left. That is to be noted. And turn the upper plate now through 90 degrees. So first in this particular position, you should bring the bubble to the center position, and if the bubble is exactly at the center, then you need to turn the upper plate 90 degrees, that is until the axis of level passes over one of the the third foot screw, over the third foot screw, like the diagram shown in the second place. This is the first one parallel and this is the second one. So you need to move your telescope such that this bubble tube is exactly perpendicular to initial position on the third foot screw, like something like this. And turn back again. Okay. So here, turn this leveling screw until this bubble is centered. Again, you can use your left hand so that your left hand thumb movement will follow the bubble tube. If you want to move bubble up, then your thumb should be moved in clockwise direction, or if you move counterclockwise direction, what happens? The bubble will be coming towards AB. Okay. So like this, by movement of the third foot screw, you will bring this bubble to the center of the tube again. And now return the upper plate through 90 degrees to its original position. You are going to bring back in the same direction, not in the other direction, the same direction. You are going to bring back again to check the leveling of this particular bubble tube. And repeat these steps again and again. It's a iteration process. You need to check in both these principal positions, that is at the parallel to AB and perpendicular to AB positions. you need to hold the bubble at the center. If the bubble is at the center in both of these positions, then rotate the instrument through 180 degrees. Bubble should remain at the center of its run, provided if it is in a correct adjustment. So if you rotate again 180 degrees, bubble should be center. If not, what happens? It will directly tell you instrument is not in the perfect adjustment. It needs a permanent adjustment to be correct. Bubble should remain in center of its run, provided its correct adjustment. If not, vertical axis will then be true vertical. If not, it needs a permanent adjustment. Note is it is essential to keep to the sum quarter of circle for changes in and not to swing through the remaining quarters of the circle to original positions. Okay, so you need to keep in the same quarter. That means you have to follow the same backward direction. Not you need not rotate again. If two plates are provided in place of one, and upper plate is not turned through 190 degrees as it is done in the second step above. In such case, longer plate is kept parallel to any two foot screws. The other plate will automatically on the other foot screw. So if there are two bubble tubes, one is parallel to one of the two foot screws, then automatically what happens? Other plate level automatically turns on the other foot screw. We need to again simply rotate the third foot screw to center the bubble tube, and this process is repeated till both bubbles are centered. If the instrument is now rotated to about vertical axis through one complete revolution, each bubble now travels is remain in the central of its run if they are in adjustment. If not, a slight deviation may be there, but we cannot do anything with that. Okay. Now, four screw head. If the head consists of four screws, then what happens? Turn the upper plate until the longitudinal axis of the bubble tube is roughly parallel to the line joining any two diagonals. Let us say these are the diagonals DB. If you consider this DB as one of the diagonal, you have to rotate your telescope such that this bubble tube is actually parallel to this diagonal D and B. Then again you need to operate the 2 foot screws in the previous manner I have told you to bring back its bubble tube to the center. Okay, so bring the bubble central exactly in the same manner as described earlier. Now turn the upper plate through 90 degrees until the spirit level axis is now parallel to the other two diagonally opposite screws. Like other two are A and C, so you have to keep parallel to the other two diagonal AC now. And now center the bubble as before. That means you have to rotate these foot screws either both inward or bothward by holding thumb and index finger. You have to bring back this bubble to the center and repeat the above steps till the bubble is centered in both of these positions. Then you need to turn 180 degrees to check the permanent adjustment as we have done in the 3 foot screws case also. So with this leveling up is over. Leveling of completed. Next we have a elimination of parallax or focusing. So here parallax, what do you mean by parallax? Parallax is a condition arising when the image formed with the objective is in the not plane of the crosshairs, is in the not in the plane of the crosshairs. What happens here? A white image without you did not see any picture of a white background will be displayed when parallax is happening. Unless parallax is eliminated, accurate sighting is impossible. Therefore, this parallax need to be eliminated. Parallax can be eliminated in 2 steps. Number one, by focusing the eyepiece for distinct vision of crosshairs, and the number two, by focusing the object to bring the image of the object in the plane of the crosshairs. So let us take the first one, focusing eyepiece. To focus the eyepiece for distinct vision of crosshairs, point the telescope towards the sky or hold a sheet of white paper in the front of objective and move your eyepiece in and out till the crosshairs are seen clear and distinct. and in some particular graduation position to suit his eye, this may have uh, this may save much more time, right? So if you do not keep any paper, or if you do not point to sky also, it is possible. Just you have to rotate your eyepiece focusing screw such that you will get a clear and a distinct vision of your crosshairs. Next, coming to focusing of the object. Now the telescope is now directed towards the object, let us say ranging rod or any building corner or anything else to be sighted, and the focusing objective focusing screw is turned till the image appears clear and sharp. The image the image now formed is in the plane of crosshairs, and hence this has completed. So now we have completed with all the temporary adjustments, like we have done centering, leveling and focusing. Now the instrument is ready for taking up any readings, for measuring any readings with the help of this particular instrument. And remember, these temporary adjustments are going to carry out after removal or after shifting of instrument every time. Every time you shift the instrument, the same process is to be carried out again and again. And we have a practical also. The first experiment is going to be having this temporary adjustment practice for all your team members only. And if the bubble is not centered in all position, what we are going to do, we are going to replace your instrument, and or you can also perform your permanent adjustments, which I will going to cover at the last of this topic. So right, with this we'll stop here for today's lesson, and we'll just go back and revise what are the things we have learned today. Okay. um, yeah, we were discussing about some definitions and terms: vertical axis, horizontal axis, line of sight, and axis of bubble tube. Yeah, these are all also called fundamental lines of theodolite. uh, Vertical axis, horizontal axis are Trunnion axis, line of formation, axis of level tube, and one more axis of telescope also there. And don't confuse with these two terms, line of formation and axis of telescope. These two are actually different. uh, Line of sight is nothing but an imaginary line joining optical center of objective glass and the cross section intersection of cross hairs and its continuation, whereas axis of telescope is nothing but imaginary line joining optical center of objective glass and optical center of eyepiece and its continuation. Yeah, that is the only difference. And now if the instrument is in perfect adjustment, what happens, both this line of collimation and axis of telescope will coincide and will continue as a single line only. And if the instrument is not in the perfect adjustment, these two will be differ, and thereby a slight deviation in the lines may be there. Okay. And if you observe the relation between these vertical axis and horizontal axis, this name suggests these two are perpendicular. And horizontal axis is also known as a Trunnion axis, which is actually perpendicular to the line of axis, irrespective of its position, whether it is a telescope is horizontal or inclined or even at vertical. Also, automatically this horizontal axis is perpendicular, because these two telescope is mounted at right angles to the horizontal axis or Trunnion axis. Now, axis of level tube. This is actually relation to this is actually depends on the position of your bubble tube. Okay. Yeah, these are all covered. These are all imaginary or fundamental lines. Then the centering. This we have also covered in temporary adjustments part. Centering is nothing but bringing your instrument exactly on the station on the ground. And we know transiting. Transiting is nothing but movement of your telescope on vertical plane, in vertical plane about 180 degrees. And theodolites transiting type only nowadays we are using. And swinging is other technical term. uh, Horizontal movement of your telescope or theodolite is nothing but horizontal rotation is nothing but swinging. If you rotate it clockwise, it is right swing, and if you rotate it counterclockwise, it is left swing. And coming to phase left and phase right, if the vertical circle on the left side of the observer, it is phase left, and if the vertical circle on the right side of the observer, it is phase right. Okay, then telescope normal. This is actually a phase left only, and similarly phase right corresponding to telescope inverted. And changing phase, bringing telescope left to phase right. This will include an operation of transiting and then swinging by 180 degrees. Then automatically phase changes. Then we have discussed about temporary adjustments. Temporary adjustments, it is just like a dumpy level, setting up, leveling up, and elimination of parallax. In setting up, we are going to bring exactly station exactly over the ground mark, and as well as we are going to roughly level the tripod. And we are achieving this by rotating your tripod legs radially and circumferentially by using either suspended plumb bob or optical plummet. And leveling up, here we use either 3 screw head or 4 screw head. If the 3 screw head is using, in the first step we are going to keep parallel bubble tube parallel to any two of the foot screws, and then rotate those two foot screws by holding in between thumb and index finger. Rotate both of them, either both inward or both upward, such that the bubble tube is exactly at the center. Then you need to rotate by 90 degrees. Then you operate the third foot screw to bring again bubble to the center, and then you need to bring back its position to initial position, that is parallel to another 2 foot screws again. And this process is repeated such that the bubble should be centered in the primary principal two positions. After achieving this, you need to rotate again by 180 degrees, and you need to check for the center of the bubble. If the instrument is in perfect adjustment, bubble is exactly center, otherwise it will change. And with the four screw head leveling head, what we are going to do, rotate your telescope such that bubble tube is parallel to one of the diagonal joining 2 foot screws. Then you operate the 2 foot screws again, as like before. You need to hold the 2 foot screws with the help of your thumb and index finger, and rotate both foot screws either inward or outward at a time simultaneously. And here one point is to be noted, the bubble will follow your left thumb. If you move your left thumb rightwards, then bubble moves right, and if you move your left thumb left side, then bubble moves in the left direction. So here, by operating the two diagonal screws, you need to bring bubble to the center, and then what happens, rotate the telescope by 90 degrees so that it is parallel to the other two diagonal foot screws. Then you repeat the same process, rotate the other two diagonal screws to bring the bubble to the exactly center, and you repeat this process to check that the bubble tube is centered in both of these principal positions. Once it is centered, it is achieved. Next, what we are going to do, we are going to rotate again by 180 degrees and check for the center of the bubble. If the bubble is centered, then instrument is perfect. If it is not, then it needs a permanent adjustment. And coming to elimination of parallax. So here, first of all, what do you mean parallax? I have told you parallax is nothing but a situation where image formed by the objective is not in the plane of crosshairs. So to eliminate this, we need to perform two steps: focusing eyepiece and focusing objective. In the focusing eyepiece, you need to rotate the eyepiece focusing screw such that a sharp and clear cross hairs are visible. Once it is done, the first step is done. The next one is elimination of focusing objective lens. Now you need to rotate objective focusing screw such that image is actually clearly visible. uh, if both image as well as crosshairs are clearly visible, yes, we are done with all the temporary adjustments. And no need to uh, you no need to point your telescope towards the sky or some white paper for elimination of this parallax. We are actually practicing in our lab also. If you don't provide any point any sky or any provide any paper also, this elimination of parallax can be done. So right, with this we have completed all the temporary adjustments. Hope this lesson is useful to you, and we are going to continue further in the next class. Thank you very much.